Yeah, yeah. I was just introducing our company. Yeah, and so our company is Mentor Biz, and we are a team of business mentors and traders. And the packages we offer to people who come to us is how to identify a business concept. That is one package. And once you identify it, support to put it into a business plan. Because those people who come from Kenya, yeah, we have the M-Pesa. Many people didn't understand M-Pesa, even banks, and they rejected them. So you can imagine when you have not written down a concept, people don't understand because it's a new thing. You have come up with it. You have, innovated. It's new. So that's why it's always good to put it down into writing, into a business plan. So that is a support that we give to entrepreneurs who are coming up with new concepts, including identifying what products are they going to be, selling, what services. So for example, M-Pesa, the service they are giving is financial services, yeah. Um, Apart from these new upcoming entrepreneurs, we also support existing businesses and we have business packages, business growth packages. Yeah, because of course, people want to grow their business, they want to take it to another level. They even sometimes don't know which areas to focus on. Um, so the packages include like human resource, finance, finance, even basic records that one needs for a small business, a startup. Excuse me. Mm. Marketing, very common because you want to get the goods into the market. Costing and pricing, very important. You can have a product, then you price it wrongly, then you are going to go on at a loss. Stock taking, and also business planning. Business planning is, you know, once in a while. Once you start the business, you still, in 6 months, in 1 year, you want to plan for the next year. So planning continues for business. So, and then business mentorship, this is a package we have. You realize that most providers of business support, they don't provide business mentorship. But why do we do it? Because it has been discovered that research has discovered that startups, they close because they lack a mentor, someone to talk to, because it's not really easy to run a business. Yeah. There are all manner of challenges, and that person is not able to navigate these challenges on their own. So next, within 3 months, the business closes. And that is why for us, we have business mentorship. And this one is for those who are starting, even those who have existing businesses. Challenges are all over. Things keep coming up. And entrepreneurs are lonely, by the way. Staff don't understand you, your family don't understand you, what you're trying to do. So, but a mentor comes in and you can share, what challenges you have and you can explore opportunities. We also do training for business mentors. You want to become a mentor? This is something we also provide. I don't know whether there's any comment. Please put your comment or question in the chat as we continue. And those are my contacts. I'm on TikTok as at Dr. Jane. I'm on Instagram, Jane Munene, Facebook, Jane W. Munene. That is my contact. We have a website. We have a WhatsApp group, by the way, where you can join and we continue interacting. That's my email address. Yeah. Any comments? Question, you can open your mic or you can write in the chat. Any observations? Yeah. So we are passionate about empowering entrepreneurs, very, very passionate. And this is something we have done, this kind of program we have done for the last 15 years. And now we did a lot of that physically, yeah. And these are digital ages, so now we are also getting online, and so because you reach more people when you're online, yeah. Comment, comment or questions, you can always put them in the chat. So today's topic is really around getting a business concept. Yeah. How do you actually get a business concept? Yeah. How do you get that? One has to be alert, very, very curious, also very, very attentive. Yeah. When you think of concepts that you know, yeah, um, how do you think they came about? Were they there? When you think about a concept like M-Pesa, yeah, was it always there? Hmm? I want to believe that these concepts, they are always there. It's only people have not discovered them, and somebody just comes up and discover. Concepts are gaps. These are gaps in the market, and there are many, they are numerous. So if you're in a hurry all the time, you're not listening, you're not curious, you're not, there is a skill, and that is what we want to begin to discuss. This is going to be a series of, because we can't cover everything. Um, we have a booklet on this, and this is the one that I'm going to be reading here, and we can finish it. We can't do everything today. We'll do what we can, and then we cover next time and some other material. But today is a start, a good start. I call it a good start. And what is the objective? The objective is after the end of this series of discussions, those participants who will be coming to this webinar, you are going to be able to come up with or to spot these business concepts. That is our objective. That's where we want to take you. You're not going to be the same again. Yeah. So there is a concept around where you live, places you go, just around your lifestyle. And then somebody else will come and spot it, and you have been there. Hmm? So we believe that concepts are always there. It's only they have not been discovered, they have not been, um, you know, spoken about, yeah, brought into the public limelight so that people begin to know them. One thing that we teach is creativity is very, very important. When you spot this concept, or when you want to start a business, many people just copy what they see other people do. Yeah. But what you're copying, that is somebody who spotted a concept. Why don't you come up with yours? That is the best because, again, there is a problem. As we are going to be discussing a case study, there is a problem with copying. Copying is very, very common in places like Kenya. You see that people are selling cars and you start selling and you hear, oh, this is what is working for today. But then you're going to be too many people doing the same thing. So what is a business concept? What is a concept? I would want participants today, people who are telling, to think about that. What is it? And if you can jot it down or if you can open your mic and say what you think it is. Yeah? What is it? What is all this? Yeah? Is there anyone who want to attempt? Yeah? Um, my own definition is a business concept is a short and precise description of the basic operations of the intended business because the business has not started, it's just a concept. Basic operations. Yeah? Very, very basic. Now, any successful business you see today, it is started with a concept. People gave a thought, you know. And I want to give an example of the M-Pesa in Kenya. That is a concept. It started with a concept. Yeah. So before you can start a business, so it's important to think about your concept. What is your business concept? Get a good concept that once you start, it's gonna be successful. It's good to have a clear concept on the kind of business you want. Mm. Now, a good business concept should meet the needs of its customers. And I want again to use the M-Pesa as an example. Is it meeting the needs of the customers? What do you think? Is it really meeting the needs? I think it's meeting the needs, and that's why it's successful. Yeah. So even as you spot these concepts, you have to ask yourself, is it going to meet the needs of the customers? Because if it's not meeting the needs, it's not going to be successful. Yeah. Yeah. I want to give an example of in Kenya, we have the flower farms in places like Naivasha, and you find many ladies, women, they are working in these farms for very long periods of time. What are their needs? One of their needs is where to leave their babies for the day. It's a challenge because then you're working for many hours and you have some children. So what are their needs? They might need a place to leave their kids. That is a concept. That concept is there. Is there anyone trying to do something about that? Now, at this point, I want us to reflect on businesses we know that started and they failed. Can you give a thought to that? I'm sure each one of us here knows of a business that started and failed and closed. Give a thought. Because as you spot these concepts, it's very, very important to learn from those who failed. It's good to learn so that you don't you don't make the same mistake. Learn from those who failed. Because it's very, very expensive to start a business. Yeah. You may look for premises, you spend money. Yeah, it's very, very expensive. So do you want to put money and then you close? That's why it's very, very important to get the right concept, a good concept. Yeah, explore the potential for it to succeed. And one of the things that you need to do is to check whether it's meeting the needs. So if you want to get this workbook that we have, that we're using, you can side chat there, and your contact will get a book to you. This book, we are only selling 200 bob. Of course, when we print, the price goes up, but I think as a soft, you can get it at 200, so that when you attend this training, you can keep working on the activities we have in the booklet. Now, so we are going to discuss a case study of someone who started a business and it failed. This lady is Mary, and she decided to keep dairy cows. She had learned the demand for milk is high, especially in the city. Yeah. She learned about dairy farming from her parents and was very, very confident. So this was a concept, you know, and she had observed it as she grew up as a young lady in her family. And she could see the milk demand was very, very high. Yeah. So she had acquired the skills as she was growing up. It was easy for her to run a dairy cow business because, after all, she grew doing that. And she had the skills. So her uncle gave her a loan of 500,000 to start. Yeah, you always need money to start. Then a friend just came up and told her she can make a lot of money in poultry farming for eggs. So she changed her business concept to farming. And she had no idea she changed to poultry farming and she had no idea about poultry rearing. And she used all her money in building a chicken house, buying chicks and chicken feeds. And because it takes time to care for the chicks, this was a side hustle. She didn't have, and she also didn't have the skills. She employed, a worker to help her. Now, this is something what was going around. She also got this one from her friend that portrait earring is the it thing. So many other people started keeping portrait. Huh? A lot of other farmers started as word went around quickly that farming is the greatest venture of the time. Now, when Mary's eggs were ready for sale, she realized she could not find a buyer for the eggs. The market was flooded with eggs. Remember, this was a concept that was going round, you know. So can you think of some of the things that Mary did wrong? So this is a booklet that we have, and as we go on, you write down there things that you think she did wrong. What do you think? Where did she go wrong? And you could even think or suggest better ways she could do to run her business. Now that she was stuck with the eggs, she still has a loan to pay back. What could she possibly do? What is the way forward for Mary? I think the other thing we want to discuss today is before you start this business concept, it's good to look at yourself. It's always good to look at. Not everyone is meant to be an entrepreneur. And even if you have gaps in your personality, you can always, it's good to be aware of them and, work on them. Yeah, you can work on them. Yeah, the most important thing is to be aware of them. And so here we have uh, an assessment, some assessment questions. In this booklet, for example, commitment, willingness to give the business time, risking your money on the business, sacrifice time with friends. Is it a strength or this is an area you need to improve? Yeah. Give yourself strength. B is need to improve. Motivation. Yeah. What is your motivation? Yeah. Why do you want us to identify a concept and take it forward? Your business will succeed if you're very, very keen to try your concept. So is this a strength that you have, or is it an area that you need to improve? Mm? Taking risks, being able to make difficult decisions. Running a business, you'll be faced by need to make difficult decisions. Is this an area of strength, or is it an area that you need to improve? Social support. Running a business will take a lot of your time. So it's important to have social support from family, friends, other entrepreneurs. What about your financial situation? Is this a strength or is it an area you need to improve? Access to finance to start a business. What about your specific skills? Technical skills, practical skills to make a product or provide a service. Is it a strength or is it a need to improve? For example, in this case study of Mary, she already had a huge strength in dairy farming. But you can see she jumped into poultry farming where she didn't have that was not a strength. So once you find a concept, then it's always important to think about the strength you have. Then if it is an area of improvement, maybe you hire people or you get consultants. The most important thing is to identify it. Is it a strength or is it an area to improve? And then, because then this helps you to plan for it, what to do. What about business management skills? You have them. For example, marketing skills. Your new concept would need marketing so that people get to understand it and other skills. Is it a strength or is it an area that need to improve? Yeah. Knowledge of your line of business. The more you know of a certain line of business, the less mistakes you'll make. For example, maybe you have worked in a courier business and now you want to start a side hustle in the same area, a courier, or you want to resign. Because when you're working, you realize this courier business is lucrative. Yeah. So during your employment time, you have learned many things. You got customer contacts. So that is a huge strength. You see a concept that your employer has not exhausted and you think you can do it in some other towns. People are struggling. What about negotiation skills? Ability to communicate well with others, very, very important. Because as an entrepreneur, you're going to be interacting with very many people. What about environmental concern? Very, very important to think about that. Environmental, includes even noise. Noise to the neighborhood. I know a business that was causing noise to the neighborhood. And the neighborhood, they came up together and they wrote to the international company that was giving this business work, And that business closed because of neighborhood, yeah, campaign. Because they don't want that business there. And it was a business in Kenya. And they were getting business from a foreign company. And that foreign company got to hear about that the neighbors are complaining, the business is making noise. That was it. They discontinued their contract with that business. It was a huge business. It was huge. They had invested a lot. So once you're going for a concept, it's always good to look into issue of environmental concerns, the sustainability issues. Yeah. You can't take this for granted. So as you're thinking of the concept, the thinking also has to be on long-term issues of survival. Yeah. What about commitment to your community? How is your concept going to advance the community? It's always good to make communities around your concept. They feel happy about your business. They'll support it. They'll not fight it. You know, you'll have goodwill from the community. Yeah. Always know that an entrepreneur is a very important person, in the community. Yeah. Very, very. You are not just any ordinary person. You are coming up with innovations. Eh? These are things nobody thought about, and you're the ones who is bringing them in the market. You're very, very special. So it's good to be seen giving back to the community. Once maybe you support a school, even in small ways, it makes people feel very, very nice about your business. Now, those questions, those areas that I have discussed, I hope you have noted them. They are in our booklet. I haven't gone a lot into the details. I suggest we always recommend it's good to have this booklet because this is what we'll be discussing for the next maybe 3 or 4 sessions. We are just starting. Now, once you realize your areas that you need to improve, how can you improve yourself? You can talk to other business people. You can read business-related articles. You can attend training, even like today, you're attending a training. You can even get work you can get work for a successful entrepreneur. You can read about green business. You can join a small business association. There are all manner of associations uh, around your business concept. It's good to identify them and join. I don't know whether there's any comments up to where we are. Any comments or questions? I'm hoping that you have been able to follow the areas where you need to improve yourself. Always important to do that because then, starting a business is very, very expensive. Yeah, even in not just money, time. Mm? So you don't want to start something and then midstream you're closing. Just because you realize, oh, there's something I don't have, we don't have this, we don't have this skill. That is something you identify from before you start, actually. It's better to take a lot of time, even 1 year, even 6 months, before you decide, yeah, this is the concept we're gonna go for. In Kenya, I have seen there is a new uh, taxi hailing app, an app for taxis. This is a new thing. And I think the concept around this thing is around what the others have failed to do. Yeah. Listening to them. Yeah. So they have spotted a gap or a concept. Yeah. So you really have to be curious and then discuss. And then now that they are starting, I'm sure they're not just starting. This is something they have been thinking about and listening. I'm sure they have spoken to people who provide these taxi businesses. I'm sure they have taken their time. Don't think those guys are just starting now. No way. It can't be. They have taken their time. So it's always important to take your time, find out, because there is just very, very expensive. Find the gaps. There are always these gaps in the market. Are there any questions, comments before we go on? Because I think I've spoken. Any comments and questions? You can open your mic and also say your experience. Yeah. Yeah, we have a WhatsApp group link which has been provided there because then you can follow us on getting the booklet. Yeah, I see a comment here. And thank you for the wonderful session. Do you mind sharing any examples of particular successful business that you have mentored? Yeah, yeah, we had a program of, there were many businesses. We had a program of startups. And so we took these people through identifying concepts, and we had not gone on. And then after that, putting the concepts into business ideas, I mean, into business plans, yeah, and linking them to possible financials. So that was our priority. People who didn't have any, who couldn't spot any concept. So we helped them to do that. And then after that, because we believe in mentorship, we went on with them and we would hold two meetings twice a month. Yeah. Um, Twice a month on mentorship. Mentorship depends on your business, what you prefer. Uh, we meet on Zoom or physically. And one of the businesses we have mentored, this fellow, he runs a fleet of taxi cabs. And initially, he didn't have a business, so he has come a long way. And the first business he started after our training, the concept he got is he was selling clothing and shoes, a boutique. Yeah. And he didn't have a physical place, but he was selling online because during the training we taught them you don't have to have a physical shop. So he had a boutique, but online. You know, you order online, he would post on WhatsApp group. And so from there, this business has expanded into now he has vehicles which he is using for taxi business. Maybe we need to bring some of these people onto our Zoom meeting so that they also say where we came from. So that is one example. Somebody has asked about example of someone we have met. Yeah. Uh, so this is Duta who is asking that, and I think she has connectivity issues. So because we believe training in business should go along with mentorship, so that is why we did that. Uh, yes. Any other question? That is Juan who asked that. Any other question? Looking to get into import business, and I'm here to learn how to diversify. Great. So you want to get into that. You have not started. This is Phoebe. Phoebe, I know this Phoebe here with us. Yeah. So she wants to start. Yeah. As we said, it's